Hello there, More here, and thank you for joining me on my channel today. Today, we're going to talk about the new fusion that was just released today. We're going to talk about what kind of kit does she bring to the table, what does she bring to the game, is she worth it? Is she worth the effort? Is she worth the time? What am I going to do with it? What's going to happen with it? So let's get into it real quick. Fusion, you can see her right there. That's one little tip, one little thing, quality of life, buff, I guess you can say, a change and adjustment that Plarium has done to the game, which is really nice. When there's a new fusion, it's a tie-in fusion on there, they're going to put that on there. I just noticed that this morning. That is really nice. It's really cool. So you know that it's actually active, right? So you go into the portal, go over to fusion, and here she is. She's on. All your champions are right there. As you can see, I have not fused any of the permanent champions. So all three of my permanents are still there. They're still there. That's okay. So, the new girl, the new fusion, Kantra The Cyclone. What does she bring to the table? What is her kit, right? Let's find out. She, of course, is a legendary, but she's a defense-based champion, right? Her A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 40% chance of stealing one random buff from the target. That's not a bad little ability. In Arena, there's a lot of buffs floating around everywhere. Every time she attacks, she has a chance of taking 1, if not 2 buffs from the enemy champion. Not too bad, kind of valuable. Potentially useful if you take her like the Magic Keep boss, who has a bunch of buffs, a huge massive shield. She can steal that shield put on herself. So there's some viability there. Her A2 attacks all enemies 3 times. Each hit has a chance of placing 50% chance of placing one of those random debuffs right there. But debuffs aside, a 3-hit AoE attack is massive. That's a massive skill. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. Excuse me. If you can by chance get all the books to take it to a 3-turn cooldown, that's 3 hits on everybody. There's massive implications when it comes to that kind of skill. That's a 3-hit A1. That is valuable in almost every single part of the game. Every single piece of content in the game, except for maybe the clan boss. It's good in Arena. It's good on any of the dungeons. It's especially good on the spider. Especially if you're actually trying to build a composition to nuke out the spiderlings. There you go. That's a beautiful little skill. And look, it's also defense-based. Her A1 as well is defense-based as well. She's a defense-based champion. You stack up her defense. Let's go look in the index real quick and see what she is at level 60. Come here. There you are. Look at that. She's got a 1,542 stat-based defense. Her A1, her A2, damage is based off of defense. Defense is her skill multiplier. You stack more defense on her, she will do more damage. I love it. Let's get into her passive. Her passive. It's a massively large passive. There's a lot going on here, so let's read through this together. Decreases each enemy's accuracy by 10 for each debuff they are under. Valuable in the arena. The more debuffs you can put on the enemy champion, the more debuffs you can put on the enemy champion, the more you decrease the accuracy. The more you decrease their accuracy, the less likely they are to actually apply debuffs against you. Now remember, her A3. Each hit of a 3-hit AoE has a 50% chance of landing one of those debuffs. So really, you're probably going to land at least 2 for each enemy out there. That's going to stack with this decreased accuracy, so you're decreasing the accuracy by about 20 or so each time you do that A2. So remember that. So her rest of her passive here. The next one. This champion will receive 4% less damage for each debuff on the attacker. I like it. So if you can stack 2, 4, 6, 10, like the clan boss, or someplace else, 10 debuffs, you can take 40% less damage. Now, it's a lot. I get it. I understand. It's hard to get a lot of debuffs like that, especially in Arena. But even if it's less, if it's only 5, if it's only 2, that's 8% less damage, or that's 20% less damage she's going to receive from that specific target if they're under debuffs. That is pretty nice. That's an extra added benefit to having debuffs on a champion. It helps give your other random debuffs that people usually don't like to use a little more viability. Say, for example, that decreased accuracy debuff, something like that, or a heal reduction debuff in the arena, something like that. Debuffs that people usually don't really care about. It gives it some extra viability. It gives it some extra utility because it makes her receive less damage if that champion has something on it. Her third one heals this champion by 1,250 HP each time a debuff expires on an enemy. That doesn't have to be her debuff. That's just period a debuff expires. There's a lot of implications to that. There's a lot of viability and utility to that. Let's take her out of her clan boss. I don't think she's a very good clan boss champion, but you put her in the dungeons in some place, whether it be a dungeon boss or whether it be the spiders. You put her in spiders. The way Plarium utility and mechanics work, whenever a debuff expires, that's whenever a debuff comes off of the enemy champion. Or, so for example, if literally the turn duration expires, it comes off, boom, this effect will proc. Or if you replace the debuff, this will come off. Or if the champion dies, the debuff expires, and that will proc. So she will be healing herself all day long with a 1250 HP heal every time a debuff expires. You put her in, say, the spiders with a 3-hit AoE. She lands 1 to 2, say 2 debuffs on all the spiderlings. You throw an HP burn on all the spiderlings. There's a lot of debuffs floating around. She's just not going to die. You stack defense on her because she's a defense-based champion. Damage mitigation built into her kit. I like it. Her next one has a 75% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn on enemies under 5 or more debuffs at the start of this champion's turn. So, if you can stack a lot of debuffs on a champion, so 5 or more debuffs, she has a chance to place 2 or 3, potentially, on every single champion, right? If they have 5 or more, she has a 3 and 4, a 75% chance of placing a provoke debuff, another debuff on that champion, causing that champion to attack her. Wow. Force that champion to attack her. Some built-in crowd control because they're going to use her A1 and nothing else. They're going to attack her and no one else. She has built-in crowd control. She has built-in damage mitigation. She has built-in sustainability, all synergizing around debuffs. Debuffs have gotten more important as the game progressed in the last 4 or 5 months. Debuffs are a critical part of your arena. Debuffs are a critical part of your dungeons. She brings extra utility and synergy to that debuff meta, to that debuff mentality of composition around your team. I like it. Her last one. This champion can place debuffs on weak hits. That is beautiful right there. What that means is you can take her into an off affinity dungeon or to an off affinity battle. So she's a force, right? So you can have her fight against a spirit affinity champion. Doesn't matter if she hits a glancing hit, a weak hit. She still has a chance to land that debuff. Typically, normally, any champion who gets a weak hit cannot land the debuff. Period. Part of one of the mechanics of a weak hit is debuff, chance to land debuff are negligible. They go out the window. Just not going to happen. She has a chance of doing it still. Her aura increases ally accuracy in all battles by 60. As you progress into the later part of the game, in the end game, and you have your great hull built up, accuracy is not hard to get a hold of. But when you are lower end, beginning game, middle game, your great hull is not built up. Accuracy is hard to get. When you have accuracy chest, and you need an accuracy chest, and maybe even an accuracy set, to be able to get the accuracy you need to land the debuffs you want to do in the content you want to land them in, having an aura that gives you 60 in all battles is helpful. It's definitely helpful. In the end, I like this champion. She's a defense-based champion. I really do like her kit. I think she can be valuable, even if not booked. And that's the kicker for me. A champion, a legendary champion that can be viable, that can be helpful, that can be useful to my content, to my game, without booking it, is a champion I would do not mind having. It's a legendary champion I would enjoy having, because I don't have the books to spend. So if I can get a legendary champion that does not need books, then yes, I want her. And yes, look at the ingredients for her right there. I am missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 16 rare champions. I have only missing 6. I have more than half of the rare champions. I have a lot of grinding to do. I have a lot of leveling up to do. And I have a lot of events to do to be able to get some of these ones. Unfortunately, there are 2 of the 4 void champions that I am missing. Not too bad. I'm going to go for this. Me, free to play, 100% free to play. I'm going for this fusion. I want this fusion. I have never gone for a fusion before, but today I am going to start going for this one. First fusion in the world. First fusion for me. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to get my best chance and best shot to make this happen. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being with me all the way through the video. I greatly appreciate your support. It means the absolute world to me, more than you can ever imagine. And if you're still here and you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. It's going to be on the screen. Hit the bell notification so that YouTube can tell you the next time that I put out a video. And I will see you in that video. That'll be right there on the screen. Give it a click. See you there.